in keeping with the law.
Yeah.
You know, it's better to get the money in the bank, but.
I think the personal visit is the best way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
No, yeah, I won't.
Yeah.
Because this will throw rough, but she'll be able to read it too.
Mhm.
And it's her delegation. But the depositing has been going on for a long time. It's not just the last
Right.
2 or 3 weeks.
Right.
Well,
So,
it should be clear that we need to,
yeah, follow the
Address-
law.
yes,
Yeah. And I think
right.
she will.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the treasurer statute.
all right.
Okay, thank you. So, well development, I've had good conversations with Jamie Emery, and as far as I know, he and Chris Berg touched base today because they have to overlap with their estimates for budget.
Mm-hmm.
And just to refresh, we had budgeted a total of $375,000 to do the 3 Jamie Emery phases, and we're in phase 1 right now. So my question to him for budgeting in the future was, you know, because these budget numbers are 3 years old,
Right.
so I gotta give him that. So 375 we had budgeted. He's estimating now, including the new well that you approved last week, they're gonna drill a new monitoring well
Yes.
over there, would be 415,000. So that's 40 more, including the new well. So I don't think that's unreasonable. That gives me a number to budget.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I had asked him when we were, you know, he was so pleased with the production results from 2 wells. I, you know, kind of not knowing, I said, could we have 2 wells? If we could pump 300,000 gallons out of one per day, could we pump 300,000 out of 2?
Both.
Right, yes. Yeah, we discussed.
So he kind of got excited with that proposition and said that if we did 2 production wells, it would be like an additional $200,000. So the total,
615 now.
yeah. Well, he said 595. I'd round it up to 600,000.
All right.
So we've already budgeted 375. So it would be
25.
Right. 2 1/4.
2 1/4
Right.
more to budget. So I don't know why we wouldn't do 2 wells. I mean, it's sort of economy of scale. I think we'd get a real value.
Yeah, they've just got to test and make sure it doesn't run, they don't
Yeah.
draw down on each other.
Which he's already done. He said there would be no hydraulic limitation. That I actually have my notes. Last time I didn't have my notes with me. Last time we talked about this, but he said that in the pump test that there's no you know, in other words, one doesn't drain down the other.
Right.
Okay.
I forgot the
2 different sources,
2 different
veins, lines,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
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 Exactly.
Aquifers.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Both
So-
good quality.
Both good quality, yeah. So, I mean, he still has to go through a few things.
Oh, yeah.
But that's the eye towards budgeting, is to, are we gonna do 1 or are we gonna do 2? So, we don't need a decision on that tonight. I can put in the 600, we can think about it and talk about it when we do all the
Is
capital.
the state's prerogative for us to eventually retire
Our wells?
these wells on this side of the highway? Or is, no?
No, it's not to retire them, but it's to have redundancy.
Right.
for
No,
safety.
understood that, but I, you know,
Yeah, no, not to
No.
retire them, but
There was nothing ever mentioned in there.
it was just, we had to have a fallback
Right,
for.
fallback
for-
plan.
Yes, okay. And there's no reason we wouldn't be using these wells if the water quality were so improved.
better, right, yeah. So that's the update. Chris Berg he needs to get us numbers for the whole distribution system,
Hmm,
which won't be a small number,
right.
so.
Do we ever deal in small numbers?
We don't
I was
deal with
gonna
small
say.
numbers in our business at all.
Well, we have one PO for $1,200.
I know, there's one that's $830.
Yeah. All right. So are we covered on?
Yep.
So on to purchase recs. We have 7 this week. First being to FW Web for $1,247.99. This is for piping for the new caustic tanks at the plant. Number 2, $830.74 payable to IDEX Labs for the coli test supplies. Number 3, $1897.50 to GSM Paving to patch 4 manholes. Number 4, $6,985 even to Penta to install valves in the headworks at the plant. Number 5, $23,400 even to Dana White Excavating for the ravine repairs behind the elementary school.
What's that about?
That goes back to the spring week.
It goes back to
Yeah.
the spring,
I
yeah.
recall a conversation a while ago. I was walking back there with the dog and I saw this enormous
Washout.
washout.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Yes.
And we talked about it, but I don't remember the connection towards it being our
Because
responsibility.
there's a sewer line
Right, and I was concerned that that washout would continue
Yeah.
and over.
and undermine the sewer line.
Right,
and that's
but I
what-
thought it was more like elementary school or SAU 48 property.
No, it's probably our easement through
Okay.
there. The thing I want to tell you about this is, and I may have, I don't think I did tell you before, we budgeted only $5,000 for this job last, a year ago. And the other bid they got was more than this. So I
I
don't
guess
know
there
if,
was a lot of materials they had to bring in, or
Well-
Yeah, it's actually a rather impressive, probably
yeah,
it's a steep
50,
bank there.
50 feet up, and it's probably, God, 40% incline.
Mhm.
It's pretty, it's
Mhm.
something. And you can see that it's been going over years,
Mhm.
getting closer and closer to the athletic fields.
Mhm.
yeah, it's really to support the sewer line. It's to fix the ravine
Yeah.
underneath the sewer line. So we've identified other places in the budget that can absorb the difference between 23,000 and 5,000. So
Mhm.
that's really all I have to tell you about it. I think we need to do the work, and we probably just didn't
Yeah.
get a good estimate, a year ago.
People are busy too.
Yeah, yes.
All right, so we have 2 more POs, 8,327 even to Dead Diver Company for new heaters.
That's
Is it supposed to
me.
be Dead River? Yeah. Oops.
That's not a name you would be successful at,
Yeah.
especially if you were a scuba diving
I
contractor.
was just thinking that, no snorkeling.
The
Yeah.
sad part was I had seen there was a typo where it said Deer River, and I saw the R and fixed it to a D, but I didn't see the D.
All right, so this is Dead River Company for
Yeah.
new heaters in the Sludge Building, the Reservoir, and Walmart booster stations.
Yes,
Okay.
and the Walmart one is
Reimbursable, I was just gonna ask, one of those has gotta be
Very
reimbursable.
good.
Yeah,
And then lastly, 7,550 even payable to Liquid Engineering to repair a leak on the 2.5 million gallon storage tank on Reservoir Road.
yep, and I want to talk to you about that too. Jason just brought that in today, and this item is
Well, they
not...
did the inspection, what, a couple months ago?
Yeah, this item is not in the budget, but it's sort of, we need to do this because...
But yeah, if we have a leak, we have no choice.
Yeah, basically. And this company, Liquid Engineering, I guess there's only 2 places that do this kind of work. One's in Massachusetts, and we didn't find their performance up to speed when we used them before. These folks come from Montana, and I guess the good news is they're in the area right now, so they'll take $1,000 off what would be $7,000 just in mobilization.
So this is the tank on Reservoir Road.
Yeah, the big one.
So they have to get in that tank to,
Yeah, they're gonna get in with divers and patch from the inside with
Yeah,
some
they snorkel
hydraulic something.
down into the
Yeah.
tank.
And they also, like, they chlorine themselves. I was like, what about the bodies going in the tanks? And he goes, no, everything's...
yeah.
Yep,
So, Jason needs his peace of mind not to have a gusher.
We've been down that road there before.
So this was related to the...
We have.
We're trying to keep things from being emergency.
This is related to the cracks that they...
Identified
Yeah,
with the sprawling on the outside?
the
Yeah, well, I
sprawling.
guess now
Yeah.
it's leaking somewhat.
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
All
And they
right.
can fix it from the inside.
Before winter comes.
I was
Yes.
just gonna
Yeah,
say,
so
let's
these
do
folks-
it now,
okay.
because we don't want
Scuba
the,
diving in winter is not...
well, and I'm thinking, the freeze thaw.
Yeah, right.
We
Yes.
don't need
No,
that.
exactly right. Yeah.
Right,
Make a motion to approve
Thank
these
you.
7 purchase orders as read by the chair.
second,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great.
who is this?
All right.
There's a couple for you, Steve. At least one for each.
Just one?
Well,
Takes me a long time to sign.
okay, fine, here's another.
Oh, I'm signing on the middle line.
Yes, that is where you're signing.
Just wanted to make sure.
That's Christine, that's for you. That's for Steve.
Yep.
Onward and onwards.
They'll leave your budget.
So those are done.
Okay.
All right.
So this item that just came in this
Ah,
afternoon.
yes.
Yeah, is actually a question from the highway superintendent, highway manager, it says on his card, to put a catch basin in the low area on Foster Street while we're getting it opened up, and
Catch basin.
a storm drain catch basin. And there's a couple catches. One is that they want to dump it, the water that they catch, they want to dump on district property. Okay, so that's
Not
one.
into our sewer system?
Into our well
Are you
head.
sure they have
Yes.
responsibility for
Right,
these
yeah,
catch
that-
basins?
The answer is,
Well, okay, now the red light's on, everybody behave. But a couple things, a shoreline protection permit has to be
yeah,
sought,
well,
for one thing. And the other thing is, the board may want to consider, does this mean that the town is assuming responsibility for storm drainage?
I think there's a bunch of things we
The
need to
wellhead
consider.
protection area, it
There's-
springs kind of
yeah,
high.
number one is the wellhead protection area. Regardless of shoreland protection, that's our wellhead area. So the first thing is if there's oil spill, if, cars are leaking, it's going right into our wellhead, not,
Well, I suppose actually,
somewhere
depending
else.
on what the grade is like there, I mean,
Well, but if
Well,
they're
before we-
saying they want to dump it on
I think-
district
I think
property.
there's
oh, it's right before the pump
Before you
house.
get into
Oh,
the
okay, all
specs.
right,
Yeah, I think before we even get here, I think the larger question for us to understand brings us back to the issue, which I think is still unresolved, as whose responsibility are these
Right.
catch basins to begin with in the first place? And I'm reluctant to go down this too deeply into this well until we actually fix the first conversation.
Yeah.
So, would love to discuss B, but we haven't finished A yet, I think. And B is complicated.
comes with complications,
With complications,
exactly.
so,
Well, it does, and of course, they have a sense of urgency because as I see in the email there, they're trying to hire Piper to do it
yeah.
before we pave, which
Right,
is in a
right,
couple.
saves a
yeah.
lot of,
So,
a lot of money.
But that doesn't mean it's our,
Right,
We
and
have
we
to-
have urgencies as well. So,
A quick meeting with Laura Call.
yeah, I'm
I
happy to
mean-
meet or call or talk to anybody about this.
Well, I mean, wouldn't it be with Paul? The selectman,
Sure,
chair? I
Yeah.
don't know who.
I think Mr. Randlett's the chair.
But before even that, though, I mean, I mean, the wellhead protection area, I mean, is the state going to require
Well-
permit or they?
Well, we have the
Jason told
me-
shoreline
This-
permit,
Jason told
we've
him,
got the
for one
wellhead
thing, I mean,
protection.
I think that's
Steve
the
is
first,
very,
first issue to
Yes.
resolve, but talking about the specifics of this, Jason told him he'd have to get a shoreline protection permit to do it, which is not gonna be before they pave over here, probably.
Well,
Right.
Well, that,
Do we have a
does that not
wetlands?
just by,
And we would have specs, like, you can't just dump it onto a, you'd have to,
right,
make a pad down there to launch the water off of, that doesn't erode the bank. Second thing, Joe said he's never gotten a shoreline protection permit to do any work. And I think our conversation on the larger issue needs to be with the governing body or
Right.
the town administrator, not,
Yep.
it's not him, it's not his
Right.
issue. So,
right. I didn't suggest talking with Joe because
No,
I
you
don't
didn't.
think I don't think he has the answers to the questions that we need.
Yeah.
The answer, the big question is,
the
It-
13
13
storm drains
storm
on Main
drains.
Street.
yeah,
It could be a conversation between Mel, town administrator, Paul, and
Joe.
Joe and
Jason,
Jason.
Sure.
The four of
Yep.
you, trying to iron out the technicalities of it and some of the practicalities of our South Main Street concern.
and if they want to invite Mr. Renlet as the chair of the board, that's great.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine.
He's been active,
Yeah.
yeah.
so I'll seek to do that first thing tomorrow. Because, I don't think he's gonna be able to meet, Piper's group wants to pave probably in, I don't know, 2 weeks.
Are we almost down to the end?
Well, the email from Piper's folks said that the paving, they're hoping the paving is in the first couple of weeks of November.
well, they have to because
Yeah, they
paving
have to.
plants close up in mid-November typically.
Well, if it doesn't get cold, they can stay open a little longer, but
Right,
we are
yeah, we're,
starting to drop.
That's what, that's what,
yeah, there's,
Yeah, usually by November 15th, everything's
right,
Closed.
it's just not happening.
the first few days of November, he says, so.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
understand Joe saying that he's never had to get a shoreline protection permit, but has he ever been dumping directly into the river?
I don't know.
You
I
know?
don't, it's a good question. And you get these sort of last minute requests and you feel like you're standing in the way, but there are large issues that
Right.
Right,
we do
we-
need to resolve.
yeah.
We would love to help and cooperate and correct the drainage
Mhm.
problem.
Yeah, the first thing that, I thought of was that's going right into our aquifer.
Yeah.
There's nothing protecting it.
You
If
mean
it's-
the water?
Yeah.
Well, it's going in now, it's just not going
Right,
through a
it's just
culvert.
going
It's
on,
not-
right,
it's not-
yeah.
Yeah,
it's just
I
draining
suppose
off
that's
now.
true.
This would provide a swale and an area for it to enter the river.
Yeah.
It's, it is going in now, but I think the larger issue, is, does this then mean the town does assume responsibility for storm drains and catch basins and all the stormwater and.
Which doesn't preclude us, I feel, that if we understand who is responsible, and we can still work with them on other projects and even assist in a fiduciary way, I think, if that's
Yeah.
the problem. The point we just have to get over is whose responsibility is this?
Right.
Hmm.
And we haven't
We haven't
agreed
figured that out yet.
to agree on that yet.
Right.
Right, okay. I'll pursue that
Mhm.
and, and I'll pursue that in the best way that I can. Keep you posted.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see how it can be interpreted as just being a simple, just drop this into place and be done with it, but it's not that simple.
Right.
It's just not.
Nope.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to see the town is addressing drainage, and there are other places that drainage needs to be addressed, and I understand he's trying to capitalize because the road's gonna be open anyway, and there's a contractor in there.
Yeah,
But-
well, we've tried to do that in certain spots as well, and unfortunately, it doesn't always work.
Right. Okay, that's all I have.
Yep.
Make a
Well,
motion to
that's-
adjourn? Unless you had something
Make a
else?
motion to adjourn?
Both of us did that.
6:03, thereabouts.
Awesome.